Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here in the Hambino Podcast. You can see this beautiful man over here. I don't know if you guys know him. He may be a little bit famous on the college level. You know, you see him dancing everywhere. Um, he has coached in my high school, Montgomery High School, from 2015 to 2016. He was an assistant coach there, assistant coach at Mar Vista High School. He became an assistant coach and a recruiting coordinator for Clark University. He's coached in the Peninsula Oilers and the Alaskan Baseball League. He was an assistant coach for the Texas A&M in Kingsville in 2020. And he's currently being an assistant coach in Ben U Mesa and he did it in 2019 and then again this year. And he's also the scouting director for the baseball showcase from 2020 to now. Great catcher. I met him when I was a senior in high school. Best personality out there, and I'm glad that I was able to befriend him. Man, here he is with me as my first guest, Rolando Sanchez, known in the college level as Rolando, better to me as Boo Boo. What's up, Boo Boo? How we doing, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing, man? Hey, speaking of, man, it's funny how growing up back home, we all have our little nicknames and stuff like that. Like sometimes people forget our real names,
Dude, that happened to me so many times.
What's his name? I remember people like go to mom like, "What's Boo Boo's first name?" Like Rolando. Like, oh, like people had no idea,
Yeah.
So it's a trip, man. And then once I got to college, I went to a school that there was a dude named Galando. His last name was Galando, and that's what they called him, So I got
okay.
Well, we're just gonna call you Londo, and I'm like, that's fine with me, And I like that. Boo Boo was like more intimate from my folks back home. And people
yeah.
And the first college I went to, I had a couple of buddies that played football there that were from back home, so they carried my nickname over there. But when I transferred schools, I was like, I'm cool with keeping it just for certain people. So,
yeah, dude. My thing was my first nickname was a Sandlot. The whole Hambino podcast and stuff. I mean, that I love that coach. I love the movie. And then when I got into high school, Kurt Hermo, he had to put his freaking seal on the stamp, man. And he's like, I'm gonna call you Pecas. And it just fucking stuck, man. It fucking stuck. I mean, I was fucking in my opinion, I was a bit popular in fucking high school, and then fucking freshmen came up to me and were like, "Hey, Pecas." I'm like, fuck are you? Like, what do you call me Becca's for?
Hey, you ain't earned that shit yet, bro. Chill.
And it's like people wouldn't know my name, bro. Till this day, people don't even call me by my name. They're like, "Hey, what's up, Beccas?" Only people at work call me by Chris, man. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, I want to ask you something real about you, because you've been playing for a lot. I mean, you obviously you don't play anymore, but when you went back home after being an assistant coach, we played together in the league. I don't know if you remember that down in Tijuana.
Yeah, right. That was after college, actually. That was in college.
Oh, shit. When you were in Clark University, right?
It was before I went coaching. Yeah. I remember.
All right. So I got to see a glimpse of you catching, man. And let me tell you, I myself was a catcher when I first started going up, and your skills, man. I tried running a base on you, and you stared at me, and you're like, "Don't fucking do it, man. I'll gun you out."
Yeah. So like, I mean, y'all didn't tell this guy, like, what's he doing?
Yeah, no shit. And obviously, I'm not fast, so I'm like, I was just fucking around. But I saw you being serious. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna get into this game face. I want to ask you a question though. So, how did you make that transition from being an everyday baseball player to getting into assistant coaching?
Wow. I'll tell you a story on how I even started assistant coaching. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough because I had signed a couple, I pursued the dream, you know what I mean? Like a lot of other guys do after college. I went to a small school, wasn't drafted, wasn't like an undrafted signee or anything like that. So, it was independent ball. So, I was doing that for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. I got released from the first place I was at, and I went back home and I was working out 24-hour fitness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I remember that.
And then
I remember seeing it.
And then I ended up working overnights there, bro.
Right? Yeah.
So, Juan Muriel, he played shortstop for us. He was my year, 2008. Shout out Montgomery, MOHS. You know what I'm saying? MOH. know what I'm saying? Now, we're class 2008. Yeah, so I mean, we played ball growing all the way up, and he played ball at St. Catherine's in Kentucky, and so we finished around the same time, and we just I was back home and he was working out there, and we run into each other working out, and he's like, "Hey man, you should come by the high school. I'm the head coach of the JV squad." And I'm like, "All right, I'll show up. Like, say what's up." Like he's like, "Hey, do you can work out, do all your stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, sounds good." And I show up, and then we have a good time. I'm out there and I speak with the kids. I do the whole thing, and everybody's looking at me like, "Oh, like I'm some big deal."
Oh, Coach Boo
I'm like,
Boo.
"You're damn right, I am." Nah, and I got a funny little thing that I did with the kids right there. I'll explain later. But that's how I got into coaching. Like I just showed up and I started working out, and then I was like, "Man, I'm gonna hit the field with these guys again." So I was like, "Hey man, same practice days like they've always been for 25 years."
Yeah.
In Montgomery. So show up, and then I just kept showing up. And then at one point they were like, "Hey, you need to go down to the district and sign some papers, take a little drug test, all that stuff." I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." I get certified with the district. Next thing you know, I'm like a full-on assistant coach. And then I started coaching, and I went out to play indie ball again, and the league I was in folded. So I was left with nothing to do. And I was like, came back home and dealt with my own personal thoughts and of my career and everything, and just decided to get into coaching and started doing that, man. So long story short, that's what got me into coaching, man. I was just literally going back and then just starting to just give back to, our community, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Working with our high school guys, I barely got paid anything, and it was just more just being around and helping guys. Cause I was a guy that, got helped by other dudes that came back and helped out too, like the Foca Bravos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They come back, Marcos Viescas, Dan Vargas, like guys who come back from playing, from their colleges or pro ball and come and help us out, and
Dude, who came back one year?
What was
Sergio
that?
who came?
Meter came back. Yeah, my bad. Hey, shout out Sergio Mitre. Hey, papi. Hope you're doing good,
Dude,
man.
I was fucking shitting bricks when he came through. I fucking wore my Yankee jersey. I'm like, "Hey, can you sign this for me?"
Hey, that's how we from different eras. Like you were talking about his Yankee jersey because he had won the series with them. Me, he was with the Cubs, like straight up pitching with Carlos Zambrano, you know what I mean? And he came back and brought a bunch of stuff, for us there. And he worked out with us for like a good 2 months, and we do this famous Walmart run, which is we run from, Montgomery, we run out the front from the field, all the way out the front, all the way down Walmart, around down Del Sol, back around right there on what's that, Picador, came back up and then hit Palm and head back up. Like that was a run that he do with us, and
damn, bro, we never ran that much
like 3 times while he was there. It was wild, but yeah, it's like guys like that come back, and it's like, man, it's guys that kept going with it too, and there's nothing wrong with guys who don't do it afterwards, but it's like, hey, when guys come back that have like continue going up, like damn, that's like motivation, you know what I mean? That's
heck yeah.
And for me, I totally forgot, like I don't think about myself like that, but it's funny because I come back and people are like, oh, this and now, like you praising me right now, it feels good because sometimes I'll be coaching and I'm like, man, these boys don't even know, or like I still give examples. I'll be making throws and dudes be like, all right, coach, we can tell you got the juice still. And I'm like, yeah, I can only do it maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So, I can only take 2 or 3 good swings before it starts getting shitty, but they're good swings nonetheless. But yeah, man, the transition was a little tough because then you started having to see things differently. Like I almost wish you know what? I want to get back to playing, you know what I mean? And just playing on the weekends and stuff like that. And just the amount of knowledge you get from coaching that you learn more about the game. Like you really learn to coach. You learn that like, hey man, this kid can do this and do this still. Like he doesn't have to conform like everybody, not everything's cookie cutter. Not every kid swings the same. Not every kid has the same body type, things like that. So it was just discovering that stuff and learning more that there was coaches that fucked me up.
Yeah.
Than helping me along my way. And, they hindered me, and they changed certain things that were really good about me as a ball player because it wasn't something they knew how to deal with. Or like, I never seen a guy like come, like this whole thing about like, oh, the backside and the scissor kick. Well, I've been doing that. And in college, I had a coach who was like, no, man, you need to keep that back leg planted and spin. I'm like, what the fuck? Totally fucking me up. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, like, and now I'm like, I wonder what that guy's thinking. Like, man, I done fucked up plenty of hitters in my life. Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, we had back in the Montgomery baseball when I was playing there, they had this coach Rudy. I don't know if you ever met him. He was a coach for Cal State San Marcos, and he would come down and
Yeah.
help with the hitting. He told us about this 5-step system. I guess the Rangers were doing that, and he picked it up from there. And man, I'm telling you, everybody was getting into it. Everybody was getting into it. But the same thing you said, some people have a different rhythm. Some kids are different than others,
Yeah.
and everybody has their own style of playing. So, I mean, if it works out for them, great. But if not, it's Alex Verdugo was just talking about it not too long ago. He's like, it's not about mechanics, man. He's like, I don't give a fuck about those. I just whatever works for me, that's what I stick with.
Yeah, you know, I remember all that, and that's that was just like that was right after I left there. And I mean, for the most part, I mean, like I said, there's all the concepts that they have out there, all the different ways of teaching. It all works to a certain degree, you know what I mean? Like we said, like everybody's a little different, you know, and even with, you know, some arm programs that guys are doing, like it's some that's like, hey, you know, some guys can do it and some guys can't. They're strong enough to do it and some guys aren't strong enough to do it, you know, or like everybody's a little different in how they grow and how they, you know, all that stuff. So it's just
develop and shit. Yeah.
It's just different, you know what I mean? And it's okay with not having to teach everybody the same thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like I said, not everybody progresses the same way. And like I said, I mean, I ain't too mad at the guys that been trying to teach hitting and do stuff, but like that's one thing I've learned along the way is like, hey, even when it comes to catching, like some guys have longer legs than others. Like some guys, I want them to set up a certain way behind the dish, and there's some guys that I'm like, yo, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not him. You're not as flexible as that guy. You're not as athletic as him. So you got to catch what works for you. You know.
Yeah.
Same thing with hitting. You know. There's some guys that stand too far straight up that I'm like, man, you got to get some bend, like really get into your legs, you know, like you're actually taking power away from you when you think you got more power, you know. So, anyways, man, I could talk about that for hours, bro. I don't know, we got that time, but anyway.
So another thing I want to reach into you was basically, so you started as a high school baseball coach, assisting, and then you made the jump to college. So how is that any different from high school going into a college? People are more developed. I mean, they're trying to make it into the draft. They're trying to make it into indie teams.
Yeah.
How is that different? Is the dream still the same from playing in high school, getting into college, or do you see a change in the players?
Yeah, I mean, you see some dudes that they just like accept, like in their heads are like, you know, I know I'm not going to the big leagues. Like, and they just play for
the love of the game.
For the love of the game, or they just play because like, hey, I'm gonna make my most out of my college career, you know. And those are guys that I love the most. And I'm not saying that I don't love the guys that want to make it to pro ball. That's not what it is. It's just sometimes there's the guys that want to make it to pro ball, they get so caught up in themselves. Which you got to be selfish trying to make it a pro ball. Like,
oh fuck yeah, dude! It's so much competition out there.
Marvel used to tell me like the team ain't getting drafted, you are, which is true. You know, obviously it's like to a certain degree, like you got to still be a teammate. You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes guys forget. You know, guys are like, man, I'd rather try to get this. I'd rather try to hit this dude in with a base hit to left field. Like, hey, I'm gonna really try to pepper that gap. I'm gonna really try to drive the ball to left center. It's like, yo, man, all you needed to do was just take that little fucking fastball he put on the outer corner and go the other way with it. You could shoot it through the hole, or at least you get the runner over. And now we got, you know, our 3-hitter up to bat, you know. But you want to try to drive the ball in and you roll over the shortstop, keep the guy second, you know, things like that. You know, next guy hits a fly ball, our guy goes from second to third to 2 outs, guy on third, next guy gets out. Like, we don't score nothing. But if you would have just not been selfish, now we got to run. And hey, it's all about winning, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you get guys that just get caught up in their own stats, and you know, I mean, not every guy doing that is trying to be a pro ball player. But what I'm saying is sometimes guys get caught up in like the next level. And it's like, bro, you still got to be good at this level. You know, be really good here, and then that next level we could talk about that at that time. You know, but some guys just get caught up in trying to take 3 steps forward instead of like, yo, you got to take the steps up. About, you know.
Now, a follow-up question with that, because I love the response that you gave me. Now, since you start scouting, do you look for that in a player? Do you see that as they have basically all the tools that you're looking for in a baseball player. They can hit, they can run, they can field. But do you also see the sportsmanship in it?
Sometimes, you see it in some kids, and, a lot of times it's something that they're taught at a young age, and I feel like it can be taught. I'm not saying like, hey, if you don't got it when you get to college, like you just ain't got it. Like, no,
Yeah.
you can still develop and learn that, it really does take a lot of, it really does take
Pride.
a lot of, conversation, not everybody thinks coaching is all a bunch of fucking drills and shit. And like, hey, I got some fucking IG video that I did. It's like, yo, the real coaching actually is a lot of explanation. Like I can show you a drill, but I'm explaining why we're doing the drill, why we need to have these movements to better ourselves. Like I can tell a guy, hey, get in front of the fucking ball. Like, well, no shit, I gotta block it, but how? Like, how am I supposed to feel? Like, am I supposed to come at the ball? Like, am I supposed to beat up the ball, or do I let the ball hit me? Like, what do I do? Like, hey, you try to be as still as possible once you get in front of it. Like, period. Let the ball hit you. So it's that explanation, and it's talking about it. Like, that's where the real understanding comes. That you could show it to them, but you got to also explain it. And that's a lot of things that go with, like I said, stay inside the ball. Fucking how, coach? What do you mean? Finish how? Finish on the mound. How? What you mean? There's a lot of explanation that goes in with coaching, man. But I forgot, my bad. What was your question? What was your question again?
Basically, like when you're scouting people, because you went from
scouting, the evaluation stuff. You see it in ball players. You see kids like what I do is I work for a baseball showcase. It's a showcase, or it's a baseball tournament organization, and what we have is we have different guys set up at different locations and sites, and I'm one of them. I started off as just kind of like a little site guy doing social media, and then I became like a site director, and then I'm doing all the scouting stuff now. Like I'm putting together scouting profiles on guys that we see, things like that, so it's kind of like, you got the perfect game of PBR, like they're just everywhere, right? Like we're just centralized here in Phoenix. Like we don't have any, we do stuff in Tucson and in Prescott, but like it's not like we have places everywhere. So really concentrated here. And what I do is, I put together scouting reports for guys, and I see a kid that I like, and, you start to see him, like, oh, I'll follow this kid the rest of the tournament, I still see other guys, but I'm like, oh, that kid's batting, I'm gonna go over there, And it's just really looking for them. Like you see the kids that really want to win, and it's like win with the squad. Like they're not just trying to be. And then you see those kids that just kind of walk away. And, you do have those kids that just show up and play on a team for a weekend. I've done it a trillion times when I was a kid, and even as an adult, so you get some kids who aren't as connected with the squad, but even then you see those kids that they just like, hey, when they're with that team, like we're
here to win.
Gang, what's up?
Yeah.
What's your name, bro? Yeah, hey, we're here to win. Like I always treated everything every time I played for a guy, because I was like, hey, I don't want to come out and play for some team. I'm like, the guy that's going to come in, doesn't go to practice, just shows up, and I'm going to play. Like, I better play, and that was what was cool about it, So, like, a lot of times, like, you hear guys, I can see why, like, our older generations be like, man, this guy, now that I'm getting older, I be looking, I'm like, how you guys not like this and this and that? I'm like, oh, man, I'm that old head now that's kind of like talking shit. Like, y'all need to step it up, but going back on the evaluation stuff, my bad, dude. I'm excited. I just want
you're fine, man. I love all this shit. It's fine with me.
Man. But on the evaluation side, like, you see those kids that are like little teammates and stuff like that, just want to win, that want to win in the right way, like, hey, whatever I got to do for this to be better, essentially the better ball players are going to be the ones that hit the doubles or the triples and the, the big situations, or hit a bomb, and you're like, this is what this guy does, and some guys it's like, hey, you're not going to be the guy that's going to hit the home run. We need you to be the guy that fucking takes the ball the other way. You know what I mean?
Or sacrifice a bunt or shit like that.
Or we need you to be the guy that takes a couple pitches, is not afraid to hit with 2 strikes and get a job done. You know what I mean? And if you get a pitch to drive, fuck it, you drive it. Hey, now you're the guy. But don't go in there trying to be the guy. Just go in there and be the dude. It's kind of, hey, that's my approach with the ladies. You know what I mean? Hey, I ain't the flyest.
Yeah.
I ain't the suavest, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm the best, you know what I mean? And that's how you gotta go with it, and I'm just gonna be me, be me, good things happen, and but no, like on the reels, man, like it's just it's really that mentality, like, hey, I don't have to be the dude, like I can be it, I am a dude, let's get it done, but so that's little things. But anyways, going back to the evaluation part, man. Yeah, you look for the stuff. No, you look for the ball players, man. You're like, man, that kid, he's really got, there's that it factor. You just see guys that separate themselves from their teammates and from the other team, So,
Yeah.
That's the stuff. So it's cool to track these guys. I'm tracking a lot of 25s, 2024s, 23s, like guys that are freshmen, 8th graders. That I'm like, oh, like I see these kids, I got their names, I meet them, and it's just like, meet their parents and stuff. But that's kind of like getting into the scouting world I want to get into and doing this job I'm doing. Like I pretty much created this position that I'm in,
Yeah. That's cool.
So with all that, dude, it's just really those relationships, man. But it's like you see this stuff and it's like, man, I know 3 years from now, when this kid's Baseball America top 100, I'm gonna be like, dog, I remember seeing that kid when he was in 8th grade and be like, he was playing with freshmen and sophomores, You're like, man, no wonder why this fool's balling. Like, so
you're like, yeah, I fucking caught him first.
Maybe a couple times up in there, but
no, you're fine. But yeah, dude. I mean, now when you see when you go talk to these players and you go talk to their parents, what do you think these kids go through? Like, do you think, like with my experience, I went to a tournament in Yuma. I got some people from the Braves were fucking scouting me because I'm not a great baseball player, but for some fucking reason, I was having a fucking great game, man. I don't throw fast. I didn't have much ball movement. I was just location was fucking perfect that day. And I was getting excited. And they never fucking came to me. I just saw that they were taking notes and shit, but I was like, oh shit, they're looking at me. Now, how do you think that affects the player when you go up to them or they see you that you're scouting them?
I haven't put much thought into it, to be honest. Because you know what? I'm all in myself, hoping they don't think I'm some lame old dude. You know what I mean? I guess some parents be like, yo, sorry, excuse me, who are you with? And I was like, I'm with a tournament baseball showcase. Like, like the Instagram page. They're like, oh, like the scouting profiles. I'm like, yeah. Like, oh,
and now they try to kiss ass and shit, huh?
Yeah, yeah. My son, he's usually like 82, 83, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, man. So if you could just get some, I got my pocket radar. If you could get some, I'm like, yeah, man, like, yeah, for sure, I got you.
Go like, hey, man, he's topping 62,
75, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I get that, like, hey, he's 83, 84 usually. Like, hey, well, looks like he's hurt then, because he's throwing about 10 miles per hour less, man. So I deal with that stuff a lot. No, but going up to the kids, it's cool. I mean, now that I think about it, like some of them feel cool, you know what I mean? Some of them are like, oh, and I get to talk to them, they're cool kids, like they're just ball players, bro. Like at the end of the day, we're all ball players, dude. Like, and that's what I tell like a lot of my college guys do, like, hey, I talk to these little 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids like, dude, they're the same knucklehead motherfuckers like you that, just like us. They talk about the same shit. Like, it's always funny because I be camping out by the dugout and they don't know I'm there and I can hear them. And I'm just like, fucking knuckleheads, man. Like, these guys don't know shit.
It's the same conversation that even though fucking baseball keeps on moving, everybody's going to have the same conversations. It's the same damn thing. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Oh, guys, like what you see? Yeah, guess what? It's the fucking junk headbands, bro. The best fucking headbands in the world. And guess what? We're getting sponsored by them. So if you guys want to check out junk brands, look them up. Every fucking game that you see in baseball, you can see a fucking major league player wearing these. They're awesome, man. I've been wearing them because I've been leaving my hair long, chongo, and I don't want the fucking hair to get in my face. I'm not used to it. I haven't left my hair long in the longest time. But guess what? For working out, it's amazing. I get on my fucking bike, obviously, because my fat ass isn't going to run. Come on, guys. I get on the bike. Sweat doesn't get on my eyes, man. I love it. It's just very resistant. It's cool. I like it. I like it. I can show off my team without wearing a hat. And guess what? My hair looks great. No, it doesn't. But it feels great. And guess what? It's so, honestly, man, they're not expensive. They're really not. They got so many different designs. If you don't want to get a baseball one, they got so many designs. They just have, I know they started getting Marvel ones. They have DC ones. They have colleges. They got, if you want to sport your country, they got countries. They got different tie-dye ones. They're just great, man. And guess what? They just don't have headbands. They have fucking workout clothes too. They're great, man. Honestly, the best fucking headbands in the world. And they're just $15.99, man. But guess what? Because you guys are Hambino Podcast listeners, I got a little treat for you guys. Just a little itty bitty treat, because I love you guys and you guys listen to the podcast. You guys support me on all social media. And guess what? This is for you guys. I got some new Junk Brands headbands for you guys. Got the Red Sox. You got the Dodgers. You got the Yankees. And you got Slam Diego. And guess what? They just don't have these designs. If you want the actual one that says Slam Diego, they have that. You can order that. If you want to rep your fucking favorite baseball player, they have that in there too. So honestly, you guys can just go online, www.junkbrands.com, pick up the best one you want. And stay tuned because we're going to do a giveaway for one of these. You get to pick whichever one you want, man. All right? Later, guys.
The same damn thing, talk about music, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever, talk about everything, and it's just funny hearing it. But yeah, I go up and I just talk to them like ball player. I don't talk to them like little kids. I just talk to them like a ball player. This is like, hey man, I see this, hey, you out there killing it, boy. Or they got swag, they got a glass. I'm like, hey, I see you with 100s,
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, let me get your glasses, because I always rock mine.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just, and then it's, you meet these kids, and then you also meet kids that are just really like don't know how to act, because they've never done something like that. So it's just funny, man. But I think a lot of the kids, they, like kind of like you, like it gets you a little bit like, hey man, like somebody's looking at me, somebody like me.
Yeah.
Or like when I post something on the Instagram, I'm like, hey, you got an Instagram? Yeah. It's da 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 da. And if I have a little cool relationship with the kid, I'm like, hey man, or like I'm like, hey, I'll follow you, man. I'm gonna follow you from my account too. Like, all right, and then they follow me.
Yeah.
Post about them, they post, repost, all that stuff. It's just showing love, man. It's just getting these kids out there because at the end of the day, sometimes it may be something like that keeps a kid like, hey, you know what? Fuck, dude, I am good. Maybe I am good. Like I can do this, and it gives them that little extra motivation.
It gives them that little motivation, man. It makes them go and work harder. I that's what I fucking did. As soon as I came back from that fucking tournament, I was working my ass off. I was like, I got to make this fucking varsity team one way or a fucking other. Yeah, I didn't play for shit. I rode the bench the whole damn fucking season. But I mean, I made the team.
Hey, you accomplished the goal. You took that next step, and that's what it is, man. But yeah, that's what I think a lot of these kids, when I go and talk to them, they get excited, and because when I post it and then they repost it, and of course, I go in and look at the little, hey, how many likes do they got, on the little social media page we got.
And that shit runs all by social media, man. That's all it is now.
Yeah, dude. Baseball Showcase America. Shout out. Hey, free ad right there.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out your boy at Theo Epstein right here. I'm sure we'll talk about it before I did, but yeah, man. No, it's just cool, man. It's just cool because, like I said, it gives those kids a little inspiration. And then, of course, the family. And then you got people that who they don't have family here. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
That they don't live here or whatever. So then they post it on their Instagram, and grandma gets to see that this cat had 2 at bats. And if he's a kid that I haven't do a player profile, I got like 3 or 5 videos on the gram,
Yeah.
Well, highlights. So it's just really cool, dude. And so, I mean, I just look at it now, like I said, thinking about it, like if I was a kid, I just know I would have been on these motherfucking websites. You know what I mean? I would have been on these pages, highlights, you know what I mean? But it's cool because this is how kids get recruited,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to piggyback off that, I don't know what you was going to ask me next, but the recruiting side of things, like I recruit off of Instagram a lot,
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I see a kid like, oh, that kid's nice. Oh, he's a 2022. Like now I'm like, okay, he's a junior this year. Oh, cool. I like him. I'll follow him. And then,
keep up with them. Yeah.
Keep up with them. See what they're doing, So it's really like that, and
hey, I want to ask you another thing, man. So you posted something not too long ago. You were ranting about, I guess, some fucking baseball coach. Tell me what the fuck happened. Tell me what happened there, because I was so invested in this shit.
Was it the innings one?
Yes.
It the last one I did? Okay. So yeah, I go on a lot of rants, and a lot of times, like, it's in the moment stuff that I just feel the emotion, so I have to do it. Like, and it frustrates me because, like I said, working with youth baseball, the younger it gets, the more ridiculous it gets.
Yeah.
Right. As they get older, they realize, man, I just embarrassed the shit out of my kid for the last 6 years. I'm gonna probably just shut the fuck up and let him play baseball now that he's 15.
Yeah.
Sometimes that don't always work. Sometimes people don't get the hint when they from 8 to 13 that they just been embarrassing their kid and they've been that parent the whole time.
No.
Sometimes people tell them, they get upset. Sometimes people just like, yo, we don't fucking like the guy that much to even talk to him like that. So if you're that parent,
fuck
stop.
you.
Please. But yeah, so in this particular situation, coaches sometimes they can be ridiculous, right? I'll tell you two, but one, I'll tell you what the one was the other day. So
yeah.
There's this team. There's this team that's playing and they saved their ace for the championship. Like, so he didn't pitch the whole weekend. Like the whole weekend. And I saw
he didn't pitch one damn inning. They just wanted him for the championship game.
Yeah. Well, they had enough guys. They got through everything with everybody else. So it's like, hey, we'll save them until we need them. It's like, oh, they rolled through the semifinal. They rolled through everything. It was like, all right. They're usually a good team that they're usually in the championship or.
Okay, so they have a game plan already getting into.
Yeah, game plan, right? So, kid doesn't pitch the whole time, right? There's like a little central location. There's a place called Cactus Yards. It's a central location, kind of like the Field of Dreams back home and Chino Hills, Cathedral City, like that Riverside. It's like that, but high key better, right? So it's down on Gilbert. Yeah. So, anyways, you play baseball showcase, America Showcase games. You know what I'm saying? Come see your boy. We got you in Cactus Yards. No, but there's like the central location, right, where we we have game cards, baseballs, all that stuff. So I just go back there to get a couple things. This coach, I mean, when I see an out of shape man, not that I'm in shape by any means, because if I'm running down, 2 blocks from my field to just talk to somebody, I'm gonna be winded too, right? This guy, I mean, hauls ass, and like startles me a little bit because I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, how can we check how many innings a pitcher has thrown? Usually guys ask me for their pitchers, like, hey, like, so what's the limit on a 3-day tournament? And I'm like, 8 innings. Like,
8 innings total?
You really have to, if you have to ask me how many innings your pitcher has, you probably shouldn't fucking throw. It's my opinion. Okay?
Yeah, you're gonna fuck up his arm. Yeah.
But it happens. Some guys are like, hey, did he throw 5 or 6? And it's like 5, or it's like he threw 6, right? But we have these game cards that we have to sift through because we document it with umpires. But hey, it is what it is. So these guys come over. He said, yeah, I want to see if so and so threw. Someone said he threw 2 innings earlier, and I was like, nah, he didn't. Like he threw. I was like, the other dude threw a complete game. Like I watched pretty much the whole game because it was like a really good game. He was like, yeah. Well, one of my coaches said he threw 2 innings, and I was like, so now you're saying I'm fucking lying. And I was like, all right, well, hey. And usually I help guys look. You're like, oh, yeah, hey, here's one of the cards. I gave him a stack of cards. I said, go ahead, man, find the innings and shit. Like 50 some odd cards there. Pulls it out. Then realizes, man, this guy hasn't throwing inning all weekend. That's weird. And I was like, yeah, it's probably saving for the championship. Like, right? Then ridiculousness, right? Goes back. Then I get over there and then I hear parents talking all this shit. Talking about how, oh, he threw, that's bullshit. Blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys tripping on, right? Like, you guys really want to win that bad? Like, that bad? Then halfway through the game, 3 innings of the game, I got some coach from the other team comes over, is like, hey, man, by chance, could we, is there a way we can see what the other team's throwing? And I look at I was like, you too? What do you mean? I was like, the other coaches did that before the game. I thought you guys were better than them, bro. Fuck, man. I was like, dude, that guy hasn't. I was like, literally, all 3 of their pitchers this weekend have thrown CGs, dude. Literally, because I saw their cards and they have 3 shutouts, bro. Like, what do you guys want? Like, go look. I was like, you know what, dude? There's a big box over there by next to the baseballs where I always pass them out.
Yeah.
Bro. He comes back. He's like, man, I guess he hasn't thrown all weekend. I'm like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, play the game, like. And they want to talk about like, oh, it's just making sure the other player's safe. Fuck you. No,
you're trying to see better interest for yourself.
His ass. And you know what's gonna happen? Hey, that was your 7th inning, dude. You can't pitch no more. Oh, okay. Hey, you go to right field. Hey, Chewy, you're pitching now, bro. Like, that's all that's gonna happen. It's not like I fucking team forfeits. I fucking throw coaches out. Like, no, dude. That's the thing about our tournaments. We're in it for the kids. And now the second story happened like way back in the fall during COVID. New Mexico, I think is still kind of shut down, but a lot of teams from a lot of areas, Arizona, they're just a lot more freer than a lot of people in a lot of places in this country when COVID was happening. So we still had tournaments with limited crowds, and or some places don't. Tucson didn't allow people, whatever, right? Just players. So we had a team from Mexico come down. They're getting boat race, right? I forget the dude's name. Cabrera's his last name. Dominicano. He former ball player. He coaches a travel team out here. Trying to think of the names. I fucks with them. They're cool as fuck, right? Well, they got a bunch of Latino kids on the team. Mexicano, Dominicano, Venezolano,
Yeah.
Stacked team, bro.
Like usually what happens.
Puro gente, right?
Yeah.
And they're kicking ass. So like one thing about our tournaments, we're not like super duper formal. Like, hey, dude, if the guy's not wearing a jersey with a number on it, it's not like he can't play. Like, just
fucking tape it up.
Just put a fucking line through the box saying like, hey, no number. Like, okay, cool. It's whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as long as if little Juan Valdez if that's really Juan Valdez and he's batting in the 3-hole, then that's all that matters, dude.
Yeah.
Right? We're not out here fucking checking birth certificates, fucking.
I am 12.
Right? And dude, nobody's out here cheating like that, bro. Yeah. And at the end of the day, if the kid's fucking 14 and your kid 13, so fucking what, bro? Like, it's at the end of the day, what we have this is for competition. Like, hey, you're here to get better, get your work in, kids play. Yeah. Like, that's really what this is for.
Obviously, you don't want to go in there and take advantage of a freaking 17-year-old playing against 12-year-olds.
I just picked this up right now. I just got a bunch of random stuff laying around, but this is like a tournament ring that they get, like this is what people, I mean, it looks cool, but at the end of the day, you're like, it's just a ring. Like, yeah, tournament is cool. Like, it's like, and we give that out. It's like, hey, this is something that, you win, you get a ring, it's cool. Like, it feels good, like it is something you earn, but it's like, yo, it ain't for all that, the way I see parents act, the way I see some of these coaches act on the field, like coming at umpires mad crazy. I'm like, yo, like, I get it. I'm a coach. Like, you want to wear an umpire out? Cool. Like, at a certain point, just shut up and get in the dugout, dude. Like, if you really get the kids, cállate el hocico, homie. and let the like they say, let the kids play. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, dude, you get the ridiculousness. Okay, so back to the team. The coach, he comes playing. He's like, hey, he pulls out a card. He's like, that kid, they said he's number 13 right here, but he's wearing number 14. And I was like, or he was wearing number 23. And I was like, all right. And I was like, and I looked at the kid's name. It was Tomas. I was like, oh yeah, Tomas. And he like looks over. He's like kind of like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's the kid's name, so we're good. He's like, oh, I mean, well, that guy's, I mean, how do I really know? I mean, let's be real. And I was like, let's be real. Be real about what? What you insinuating? What? We're playing a Dominican team? Like, you think there's a bunch of fucking 16-year-olds out there, like on a 14-year tournament? Like, come on, fam.
Yeah, they're gonna bust out the little bench warmers fucking shit. I'm 12.
Yo, and then he comes over, and then the umpire comes over. He's like, dude, this and that, right? It was like about the out of order, right? Well, we go by Arizona high school rules, and Arizona high school rules say, hey, like, as long as that's the right kid, it don't matter. You could have put number 1054, and he's number 2. He's still in the lineup. He's not out, nothing. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I tried to explain that to the guy. He's like, oh, and I looked at the game card. It's the top of the first. They're getting boat race, 7 rip in the first inning. I look over, I said, hey, coach, I said, does this happen? I was like, yo, that's the kid, this and that. Like, he's like, well, how am I supposed to know that? And I look at the back of his kids' jerseys, and I was like, well, your kids don't have names on the back of their jerseys. How do I know your lineup's really theirs? Yeah. Like, that's really them. And he's like, I'm like, look, coach, we can sit here and play these games. Like, at the end of the day, Arizona State high school rules, that's what it is. You're here in Arizona. You came to our tournament, man. Like, no. This is the rules we play by. I'm sorry. Like,
it's not my fault. It's not my fault that your team's getting your ass kicked.
And I said, hey, coach. And it was right in front of parents, too, because the parents are like right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, coach, if you're going to do this down 7-0, make sure you do it up 7-0, too. And I walked out. Hey, don't just complain when shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's baseball, man. The fucking game's not over till it's fucking over.
Exactly, dude. So, but it's like all that's doing is showing me, like, now you're just afraid of competition. So what? So what? Maybe that kid is 15. Your kid's 14. Isn't he in high school? Isn't he trying to get better? Isn't he trying to play? Like, this is competition that happens. So, and I had that with oh my God. I got so many stories, man, guys.
All right. I want one good story from you, and this is going to be a legit one. I don't know if you've ever heard about this. Do you know what the Mickey Mantle gene is?
The Mickey Mantle team?
No, gene. The Mickey Mantle gene. You don't know? You don't know what that is?
No.
All right. So it's basically a person that drinks, smokes, doesn't exercise, doesn't do shit. They go out and compete, and they're the best fucking player out there. Do you have any idea who that could be? In your experience, people that you've played with, people that you've coached, that you're like, damn,
Okay,
this
so it's
kid
not
don't
an
do.
answer. It's more of like on
Yeah,
my side.
your experience.
Oh,
It could be from playing in TJ, playing in college baseball, just
man,
that
that's
one
so
player
much
that.
fun. I'm like, I just like so many people just went through my head, and I just can't stop on one. Shit, my boy. You know what? My boy Mario Mendoza. Um,
Put
my
him on
boy
the
Mario
spot.
Mendoza. I played with him in college. He's actually the head coach of City of San Francisco Community College or San Francisco, however you.
All right, you don't want him to get fired. All right, just you don't want him to get fired.
No. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too deep in the way.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just more of those like, hey, he's a gordito. You know what I mean? You look at him, you're like, like does he play ball?
Yeah.
Like he makes all the plays at third, makes the throws, like just has that internal clock that's like, yo, this guy just nobody's ever fucking beating the ball out. He doesn't have a cannon.
He's got that Pablo Sandoval feel to it.
Yeah, just quick release, just everything, right? And then he comes up, he's a lefty, just has like a little Tony Gwynn stance, but just boom. Like I don't know if he was an All-American. He put up All-American numbers. It was my sophomore year in college. I was teammates with him. He hit like I want to say like somewhere in the low 400s. Had like 10 bombs, like 40 something, 48 RBIs, 50 some RBIs. Like he tore it up. My biggest thing is like, like I said, hey, we all, I can attest. I never worked my hardest in college, you know what I mean? And when it came to certain things, and not that he didn't work hard, it's just, he
was just good.
He went hard off the field that it was just like, man, like, but when he came in between the lines, when we was at practice, anything we was doing, he was balling, like just balling. Like guy just rolled out of bed and could hit. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, we're all college ball players, man. You know what I mean? We all grew up. We all, went through our learning experiences, but that boy can just get up out of bed and hit. You know what I mean? He's a tremendous coach, a tremendous teacher, leader of the game, man. And, at the end of the day, we can all just like, like I said, he was one of my most respected teammates. Like I said, he worked hard when we did the stuff. It's just, you ask me like, hey, some guy that went hard off the field that can just roll out of bed any given moment. Like, hey, I feel like shit. My head's pounding, but I'm gonna come up here and go 3 for 4. It's like it, bro. So yeah, shout out my man Mario Mendoza. Like I said, he's a dude, man. He's a dude in all facets. Great teacher, great leader of the game, man.
Nice. Hey, so I know that you just went to go see the Padres versus the Diamondbacks, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Was it a good game or not?
Well, I went to the Tuesday game.
Yeah.
It was still a good game. Like, I still enjoy it at the end of the day, as a ball player, you enjoy all the little nuances of the game. Got to see, obviously, being a Padre fan, got to see Tatis.
Yeah.
Man, I think no matter who you are, it's like seeing Mookie Betts, like my parents are from New York. I grew up a Yankee fan growing up, but growing up in San Diego, I always watched the Padres too, every day, Channel 4, you know what I mean, 140 times a year. So I became a Padre fan. I wasn't like openly with it with my family, considering my family's from the Bronx. And it's a sin to like anything else. But
yeah, exactly.
Yankees are still part of my fandom, a little piece of my heart just because.
Same here. They're breaking my fucking heart right now, man. But it's like.
They're looking so hot. they looking the opposite of hot right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But back on that, like it was just cool to see the Padres and my compadre, my boy Boogie Blossom, he used to be a running back at Castle Rock High. Shout out Prep Piskin report. Man, Boogie. But yeah, my compadre, he lives in Goodyear, and we ain't kicked in in a while, so we were able to get together and watch the game. So we met up to watch the D-backs game. He lives in Goodyear, and so. Yeah, dude, we went. It was just cool because it was like, man, he ain't seen the Padres since he was like in high school, bro.
Oh shit!
I'm talking like 07. Like,
so he saw a big ass difference then.
Yeah. Like, last time I watched them, they were good, in person. That was back in like the mid 2000s when they actually won some NL West and got beat up by Albert Pujols and the Cardinals. But anyways, tough times. But anyways,
tough times.
It was a good game nonetheless. And then the next day, you know, it was funny. We joked about like the next day they exploded, had like 15 runs, and everybody got a hit. Like I was like, man, what the fuck? Like fucking people talking shit, Diamondback fans talking shit when we leaving. You know, I was like, the next day we would have been flexing, but
yeah, fuck yeah.
it was
But
cool,
I mean,
man. Chase Field, if you haven't been there, it's a nice spot.
I've been fucking wanting. I want to do something about going to each fucking field whenever I have a chance. That'd be a fucking dream, man. That's in my fucking bucket list.
Poco a poco, just start knocking shit off. Obviously, being in Missouri, what part of Missouri are you in again?
St. Louis, man.
Oh, so you in St. Louis?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm like 30 minutes away from St. Louis. I don't want to be in St. Louis because it's kind of like,
big city. I get it. Yeah, it's the big city. Once I've lived in like the big cities and lived outside of it and realized, man, I could just drive an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I can get everything I did when I lived in the city. Fuck it, I'm doing that. Like,
yeah, but yeah, dude. I mean, I got Chicago real close. I have Cincinnati close. It's a little bit of a drive, but I mean, it's a lot easier than from California. That all you have are the California fields, and that's it.
Exactly.
So
that's why I love being in Iowa. We had all the fucking blackouts. Couldn't see the White Sox,
dude.
Couldn't see the Cubs, couldn't see the Brewers, couldn't see the fucking Tigers, couldn't see.
Everybody's been bitching about that, bro.
We got to see the Twins because the Twins were
barely outside
the blackout market, bro.
That fucking sucks, man. Poor people from Iowa, man.
Yeah, well, shoot. And the Twins. Speaking of the Twins, I have a little soft spot for them because my first 2 years in South Dakota, everybody pretty much for the most part are Twins and Vikings fans.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see none, but Burt Blyleven on the Twins network. Like I love watching the Twins, man. So like I have a little soft spot for them, man. So that's like my little Midwest team. But hey, Busch Stadium though, Papi.
Dude, Busch Stadium is beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
Even though I love Petco. Petco's fucking awesome.
Yes.
But
man, it's got that old timer feel into it, man.
Well, dude, the Ballpark Village, dude. Ballpark Village.
I haven't been there yet. No.
Fun, dude. Go. Hey, when you go to a game next time, literally you get to go into Ballpark Village like through the game. So like you just walk across the street into Ballpark Village. You can get a beer and like you can go get a beer at half price in Ballpark Village. You have to get in there, but ain't nothing wrong with drinking a beer fast.
Fuck no, just chug it before you go in.
Chill out real quick, drink a couple, bro, in one inning, and one full inning, and then head back all buzzed to your seat, bro. I saw JD Martinez when he was with the D-backs. We were down there for my boys' bachelor party, and JD Martinez like yard twice in that game in our little section, bro. It was dope.
Yeah, that's badass, man. All right,
and I met
so
Carlos Martinez that weekend, bro.
Bullshit.
Dude, swear. And I totally fucked up. Like, I probably could have hung out with the guy, and I totally fucked it up.
How'd you fuck it up?
We're ball players like we know, especially. All right. So, Carlos Martinez, right? So,
all right.
Right. This is about Carlos Martinez, right?
I thought you were meeting JD Martinez. No, you met
JD Martinez hit 2 bombs.
And then you met Carlos Martinez.
Then we went to a bar afterwards.
Oh shit!
We were the night I run into Carlos Martinez. We run into him in the bathroom.
Oh, so, what?
I had my buddy, random. So one of my head coach here at the college I coach at, my boy, so it's one of our college buddies. So we're down there. And randomly, we run into his cousin. His cousin comes over. He's like, dude, Carlos Martinez is in there. And we're like, well, my boy's like, dude, let's go see. And I was like, we walk in. I'm like, yo, dude, I need to piss first. We can, He's like, dude, we run into him. Can you talk to him in Spanish? I'm like, dude, I got you, bro. Like, I'm chill. So we go up in the bathroom. And I'm like chilling. There's like a security dude. He's holding the door open. I'm kind of like, yo. He's like, oh, yeah, you come in. I'm like, all right. But he only has it open because Carlos Martinez is in there.
Mm-hmm.
We walk in there and I'm just like, oh shit. And I look at my boy like, my boy's like 6'4". And like we're standing in line, he pulls out his phone to take a picture of Carlos Martinez.
Oh, this guy's taking a piss?
That's weird, right? No, right? But he's just so excited, like, hey, he just wanted like, hey, look at Carlos, look who's in the bathroom type shit, Dude,
yeah.
Motherfucker has his flash on, so it flashes. Carlos Martinez is kind of like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh my God, bro. And I'm just like that. And he turns around. I have actually a San Diego hat on.
Yeah.
Stars and Stripes hat on, but I have a Puerto Rican flag on it. I had it backwards. And he turns around. And he looked at me. He's like, Dominicano, papa. Like, and he walks away. And I was like, this motherfucker. So I go in. I take a piss. I go to wash my hands. I walk out. I walk out the bathroom, and then there's like, when you walk out, it's like a hallway. It's like the kitchen, like there's like an opening to the kitchen and an opening to the bar in the back of the bar, and then it's like walking. He's chilling in between on the wall, and I walk out, and I'm like, "Oye, Carlos, que lo que hay?" You know, and he's like, shakes me up. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" We just start talking. He starts speaking Spanish to me, so I was like, "Oh," I felt more comfortable. Like, all right,
Yeah.
speak all Spanish, you know. But we just started like bullshitting, you know, and I was like, you know, hey, mucho gusto, un placer. He's like, ¿cómo te llamas? Rolando, da, da, da. We just exchanged names, like if I didn't know who the fucking guy was, right? And we just started chopping. He was like really like holding onto my hand, like, yo, like, cause and then I didn't realize, right? So I'm like, hey, suerte con todo, you know what I mean? Like, hey, big fan, man, like keep it up, representando la gente, you know, oh, hey, it's cool. And I dip out, and he's kind of like, oh, all right, you know, and I dip. And I go and I get my beer and I walk outside like, damn, man, I just met Carlos Martinez. And I'm like chilling, and in my head, I'm like, fuck. I look back inside, he goes back up to the VIP, and he's just on his phone, kind of just like bored as shit. Just kind of and I'm like, oh my God, I could have hung out with this dude, bro. Then I realized, I'm like, dude, I was the only Latino in the whole fucking bar, bro. Like,
Are you serious? Oh, well, yeah, you were in St. Louis.
There was there, but there were girls and shit, and he's kind of just chilling, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, dude. So I totally like blew it just because I was trying to be too cool. Like, hey, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to
yeah. You don't want to fucking invade the space and shit like that. So
yeah, man.
Bro, you fucked up. You don't know why? You know who his catcher is?
Yes, dude. I know who his catcher is. The whole thing, bro. The whole thing was just so like, I was just trying to be too cool because I'm like, hey, I ain't trying to like jock homie, like,
yeah.
And not even like, oh, he would have spoiled me. No, it was just more like, dog, I could have just kicked it with fucking Carlos.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, built a relationship just on some like cool shit. So
yeah.
But
just, hey man, at least you gotta fucking meet him.
And I haven't fucked it up anymore. You know, I make that little connection because at the end of the day, they people. So if you buy him, they're like, hey man, that fool's cool as fuck. He funny as fuck. Like, he cool peeps. And then they see you again and they recognize you and it's like, oh shit, like, damn, he knows me, you know, or fuck, he follows me on Instagram, you know, whatever, you know, like, it's all that shit, dude. It's just funny, man. But yeah, it's my Carlos Martinez.
It's crazy about how you can be yourself and people like you and shit, and then just goes off from there, man.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. It's really just about being genuine and being yourself, man. Because at the end of the day, like, hey, when you go to bed, you by yourself in your head, like you're you. You know what I mean? You spend the most time with yourself. You be married, you have kids, all that stuff. You spend the most time with yourself. So you just be yourself with yourself. You can be yourself with other people, man. And a lot of times, you know, that's what gets the people that you really want to be around and people you really want to like you. Those are the ones that are gonna like you, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's for everybody, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Boo Boo. I got one more question for you, and I know you wanted to get into this. I don't want to waste too much more of your time.
Hey man,
the Astros cheating scandal. Tell me what you think about it.
First of all, bro, look. This is my take on it. Everybody been knowing when all this shit started going down and John Boy really blew it up, right? Like they're the ones that blew it up, you know.
Shout out to John Boy, because honestly, dude, it's the best fucking the podcast, the lip reading, everything, bro.
Yeah, dog. Hey, shout out Trevor Plouffe. Hey, fucking shout out Jake too. Hey, that whole podcast, man. That's cool.
Dude, all of them. Did you know that they add Chris Rose to their fucking media thing?
Yeah, dude. He had Chris Rose say, I've yet to listen to him, man, but it's funny because like now there's just so much baseball going on. So there's all the podcasts I listen to are fucking like like fuck, I don't got enough time, but I usually catch up on these long road trips we be having. But yeah, dude, that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, so how they blew all that stuff up, my take on it is like, hey, at the end of the day, and then you hear people like when it was all going down, it's like, yeah, man, we all kind of been knowing that Astros been doing some shady shit. Like, we've been knowing, like everybody's been thinking that, you know what I mean? And you know why people didn't say nothing? Because everybody else got their own shit they doing too. Like, I'm sorry.
Like the Red Sox, the Yankees.
There's not one team that's out there that's like, I'm honest, you know, right?
Yeah.
You go to church, right? You go up in your Catholic church or your Christian church, everybody there fucking doing what they got to do to help mankind. Yeah, my fucking ass, right? So everybody over here talking about, oh, well, you know, that's cheating, man. Like, I mean, that's tainted now. I'm like, okay, dude, when you drive past somebody on the highway that got pulled over, you may laugh at him like, damn, man, that shit wasn't me. Yeah. But you going just as fast as that motherfucker was when he got pulled over. So like you're really just like talking. You're being a hypocrite. So like,
Yeah.
I see that people want to like, hey, fuck the Astros. They only mad because they won. If they didn't win, just like that coach would have been fucking complaining if they was up 7-0. If the Astros go and fucking get swept by the Dodgers or lose Game 7 to the Dodgers, we might not be bringing this shit up. You know what I mean?
No.
Nothing might have been brought up. You know what I mean? Then everybody hates how cocky they were, this and that.
Oh, like, dude, and they're still fucking cocky about it.
And they're still cocky. It is what it is, dude. At the end of the day, they still won.
Yeah.
Because what they was doing wasn't illegal. Wasn't illegal. Ish, yeah. Ish. At the same time, it's like, hey, we provided you with this TV and a live TV stream in the stairwell right by the fucking dugout, which
every team has it. Yeah.
So you gonna tell me these are the only dudes that was doing that? Like, come on. At one point, somebody was like, dude, I can see this motherfucker signs. Like, all right, we'll have somebody there. Like, they just got caught. They were just being noticeable in what they was doing. Like, they wasn't banging trash cans and being really, really obvious. We're not having this conversation. And who knows? They mean, things may have been different. Yeah. They may have just they would have been that team 2 years ago again. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. There's
so many things I play into it. But what I'm saying is, hey, everybody had their own shit they was doing.
Everybody's got dirt, man. Every fucking team has dirt on them. Like the Red Sox got caught with it. The Yankees have a warning because of it. And it's the Yankees were the one team that were putting pressure on the Astros because they got their ass kicked to not go to the World Series. So what happens? They put eyes on the Astros, and then everybody's like, "Hey, well, the Yankees were doing it a couple of years ago." So it's like,
yeah. And this is what I say, hey, if you were able to do all that fucking digging and searching, how about you do some more digging and searching and give me the batting averages of these guys every time a trash can was hit? Because if all these motherfuckers are hitting in the 470s, 480s, 500 range, then I'm going to be like, damn, bro, like that made a difference. But if they're all averaging fucking 320, 260, I mean, I was a guy, I remember when I get pitches in college, I swear to God, I hit worse. Because I'm all juiced up for something where I'm used to just reacting to something like, or reading something or taking in what I think he's going to throw me. You know what I mean? Having my approach. When I started thinking other people's shit, it's kind of like, hey, if you start your own business and all you're doing is like trying to search for other people's ideas, like you're going to miss your own idea about something. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
For a pitch that I'm waiting for a pitch to be told to me instead of just looking for the pitch that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was really bad at it. So for me, I'm like, maybe I would have done worse. And I'm sure there's guys on the team that were like, yo, don't tell me because it just fucks me up.
Well, I mean, yeah. And then there's the one of the pitchers that as soon as he left the team, he's like, oh, yeah, we fucking did that. It's like, damn, bro, you're really going to fucking throw your team under the bus like that when you took advantage of that shit, too. I don't know, man. It's shady as fuck.
I don't think they took away World Series bonuses, dog. So
fuck no, they didn't even take the fucking World Series from them.
I guess that's what at the end of the day, I guess that's why people are mad. People are mad because of that. But I mean, shoot, that's kind of how this country works. Not trying to dig into that side of things, but this is how that country works. Like, I mean, well, yeah, they could do that, and they may have gotten that, but because they gave us this, we're good. Like, hey, who really got fucked out of this situation? Carlos Beltran.
He got fucked big time because as soon as he got the job for the fucking Red Sox, they're like, we're going to boot you.
Yeah, the Mets, yeah. When he got the job for the Mets.
My bad, with the Mets. Yeah, that's right, with the Mets.
And then, Cora, hey, it is what it is. He's in that position, and that's why he got banged. But it's like, yo, they immune to all the players except Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
Because that forced them to fire. I mean, pretty much that just forced them to fire him. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's a whole lot of sticky shit. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, just like the foundation and everything and how this country works, like that's how it is sometimes. Hey, just because someone did the crime doesn't mean they're going to do the time, And that's what happened.
And it's a dog-eat-dog world, man.
They got away with it, and it is what it is. They gave what they gave it. They said, hey, well, we'll say a little something if we don't. All right, just tell us what you're going to give us and shit. Like, all right, this is what we did. That's pretty much what happened.
They're like, all right, we're gonna fire the coach. You guys lose your fucking first draft pick. but you guys get to keep the championship and your bonuses.
Yeah.
That's why everybody was like,
for another couple years, motherfucker. Good luck.
Yeah. That's why everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, they get caught, this shit. Like, it's like you said, it's not illegal because every fucking team has the cameras, every team has the TVs, everybody's trying to get an edge on the game. I mean, stealing signs has been something that's been going on for fucking years, man.
They just had an easier way of doing it.
Yeah.
And so instead of getting on second base and figuring it out, you get on second base and already fucking know the sequences. You know what I mean? Like, so you get right away you get on second base, you're already fucking, hey, fucking, you know, hands down, fucking this. Hey, if I pull my pants up, it's a fucking breaking ball.
Yeah, exactly. We used to fucking do that.
Hey, if I put my hands out here, it's a foul, you know, something, you know, like hands, you know, if I'm hanging my arms down between my legs, it's a fucking fastball.
Yeah.
You know, if I have my hands on my thighs, breaking ball, you know.
Yeah.
All that shit's been going on. Or me as a first base coach, bro, sometimes catchers are stupid. And they just let shit slide, or they put their fingers down too low, or, you know, when they coming out to pat their glove, they still have the number 1 in their hand when they go to pat, or they got the 2 coming out and they pat. I'm like, no way this guy's giving away the signs like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to a catcher in my conference last year when I was at A&M Kingsville. There was a catcher that he did that every time. If he gave a wiggle sign, he'd pop out with like a full hand already out, like go to pat his glove. He pat his glove every pitch. God. We just be giving verbals. And I said so much, like, bro, like I'm literally stealing every pitch. Like,
hey, so when you do your workshops, do you tell catchers it's like, hey, make sure you fucking put your hands up here in your crotch so people don't see your fucking fingers?
Yeah, it's one of my videos. I got to do a better way of posting them. I want to make some new ones, but I have video like when I did my little quarantine catching fucking videos about a year. That was one thing I came up to, and that was one of the examples I used, you know, like, or if it's a sunny day in the morning and the fucking sun's just setting a certain way, like, and if your hands are too low and it gets sunlight, I can see it on the ground, you know what I mean? Or I can see a wiggle. That's all I need. I may not need to get every pitch, but I get one pitch.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I tell guys all the time, like, hey, especially
even you told me, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even you fucking told me. It was like when people were giving Tatis shit for stealing a sign on Brower. It was like he didn't even see the actual pitch, but it was just the location that he was going to.
Location. He just set up too early, or, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you can say, oh, he was peak. Man, motherfuckers peak all the time, dude. It's just a matter, like, you see that, hey, that's why as a catcher, you gotta, hey, there's no reason you need to be looking at your pitcher when you're gonna look, hey, he's looking at you. Then you can look at your guy, and if he's a peaker, you fucking stop giving signs. You hold up until he stops looking.
Blow him a kiss.
You call time. No, and sometimes you call him, like, hey, what the fuck you looking at, homie? You good? And the umpire be like, hey, time. Hey, I just want to make sure you keep looking at me while I'm trying to give signs. Just didn't know if he had something he wanted to ask me, you know? Like,
do you want to know what's coming up?
You know? Yeah. You know, like sometimes you blow guys out, or you just wait to do that. You just look at them, and then they see that you're looking at them, and then they'll call time. You know, it's like, yeah, what's up, bro? What you need? Yeah. You know, so at the end of the day, hey, he set up too early, or, you know, it was a perfect thing. Right when he looked back, he saw the fucking, oh, he moved at the same time. Cool. Like, hey, it is what it is.
Stepped out, reached over, and hit a bomb.
He knew where it was going to be at. And, hey, he knows there's a Cy Young dude on the mound, and he's not going to miss by that much.
Yeah.
Setting up out, it's going to be either out off the plate or it's going to be out or third.
The fucking Twitter shit they had going on, man. Did you see that?
What was that?
The Twitter situation they had going on with fucking Bauer's like, hey, man, if you wanted to fucking know the sign, I'll tell you what I'm a bit.
Did he say tranquilo, mijo, or tranquilo, niño, or something like that?
Yeah, tranquilo, mi niño, because then he put a fucking little baby picture of Bauer's head on it. Dude.
That's great for baseball. I mean, but look at those games. Yeah. Look at those series that have gone on. Like, that shit's exciting.
Fuck yeah. It sucks right now because the fucking Dodgers are struggling, but I mean, sooner or later, I know they're going to catch back up. I know the Yankees starting to heat up again. I mean, just all standings all around in baseball right now are crazy, man. Giants are in first place. Dodgers in second, Padres in third. Nobody fucking thought that would be coming up. Yankees having the worst record in American League and then coming back up. Nobody fucking thought about that. So, I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yep, it's crazy, man. And yeah, dude, that's crazy, bro.
All right, boo boo.
Saying, what is it? There's a saying. I forget what manager said it. It was something like, "Hey, you're gonna win 60 games. You're gonna lose 60 games."
Yeah.
It's the other 42 that you have to like figure, you know, I mean, it's the other 42 that's going to make it.
That's
true.
Make
a big decision. So, you know, Yankees are 6-12, but dude, that lineup, these guys get hot if they're healthy. The only thing is that, I mean, their pitch is just not as deep, man. You know, it's just.
They're starting to come back, man. Kluber pitched one hell of a fucking game today.
What is it, 8 innings?
He pitched 8 innings. I think he had like 12 strikeouts in there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's coming back. And then Tyone had one hell of a pitching outing yesterday. So, I mean, they don't have the pitching depth. They picked up Odor for some reason, and he's been answering. So,
he's
I mean,
free.
Yeah,
that's why
for free.
He's free. Texas is paying everything, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's working out for them.
Breaking them off of money, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully it starts looking around. You know, basically once the All-Star break comes in, that's when teams start going to see if they're going to make the postseason or if they're going to be sellers. So, I mean, it's going to be nice to see, man. Boo Boo, anything you want to promote? Anything you have going on right now?
Man, well, shout out Ben U Mesa, where I coach, Benedictine University Mesa. We just finished our season today, 28-12 on the year, 13-5 in conference. We're second place in conference, finished second place in the season. Number 19th in the country, man. So, you know, we doing our thing, but we got a big weekend coming up. Next weekend, conference tournament starts, I believe, or starts Monday, I believe, next Monday. Not this Monday, not tomorrow, but the Monday after.
The Monday after.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So it's big, and if we end up winning that, we get an automatic bid. You know, if we don't, we gotta see the selection show and see what decides our fate. But hopefully, we're the ones that choose our fate. You know what I mean? Don't let somebody else decide it, man. So there's that. I'm about to start coaching for JG Baseball, James Guerrero Baseball. I'll be coaching their 2022 prospect team. So there's a little senior class. So shout out JG Baseball, give me the opportunity. Like I said, I already plugged Baseball Showcase. You know what I'm saying? It's what I do. I do lessons down at DBAT Mesa, catching clinics and stuff like that. So holla at your boy, follow your boy. But most of all, follow your boy at Theo Epstein, Theo.Epstein. Not Theo, but Theo, as an uncle in Spanish, Tio.Epstein. Follow me on there. I feel like I'm a pretty cool follow. So.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
I'll be throwing some good music, you know what I mean? And
some little salsa dances here and there.
Hey, you're gonna see some videos of me dancing, you know. I just like to have fun with it, man. I'm just grateful I get to do this game. But yeah, shout out to that. Yeah, man, that's all I got, bro. Appreciate you.
Sounds good, man. No, man, I appreciate you. I love the conversations we had. I hope to have you soon. Probably at VGAT. Trying to have a little catcher there, and I know you guys have a possibility.
We'll talk about our time in Alaska together.
Oh, dude, don't tell me anything. I want to learn. I want to hear about that next time, because I know you motherfuckers went fishing, and I hated you guys for it. I was like, fuck, man, I want to go fishing in Alaska too.
Yeah, yes, that's cool, man. We'll definitely talk about it. We got to get him on. I'll make sure I get him on. He's a married man now, so.
Dude, I caught me so fucking off guard, and I have him like 6 hours away from here. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
it's random, bro, but good for him, man.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Yeah, for him, man. He definitely deserves all the best, man. But yeah, we gotta get him on here, bro. But,
yeah, for sure. All right, Boo Boo. I loved having you on here, and I know I'm gonna keep having you on here. Best of luck in the conference that you guys are having, and hopefully you and Villa can meet up in the World Series, man. That'd be fucking fun.
It's a good possibility. It's a good possibility. They got a good squad, and they're one of the top ranked teams in the country as well. So we'll see. We'll see in a couple weeks. And if so, I'm bringing my Mac. We doing that shit in person.
Oh, dude, fuck yes. Man. All right, man.
Hey, bendición, pa.
Take care, Boo Boo. Loved it, man.
Peace.
Later. All right, there you go, guys. That was Rolando Sanchez. Great guy. I hope you guys enjoy it. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram at Theo.Epstein. Obviously he posts a lot of his baseball team. He posts a lot of the kids that he recruits from time to time. So I mean, it's a great follow. He has workshops. He can work out with you through probably show you videos of himself giving out some catching tips and stuff like that. Now getting into the actual series that we have the Padres and the Giants. Padres need to try to catch up because the Giants took first place. the Dodgers have been struggling a bit. They're facing the Brewers. They faced the Brewers this past weekend, and man, they just barely avoided the 4-game shutout from the Brewers. I mean, their bats just haven't been the same, man. Ever since they faced the Padres the second time, they've just been deteriorating. And I mean, sooner or later, I hope they get back into it because obviously they have a really good team on paper. But the Giants struggled a bit with the Padres. Padres ended up taking advantage of gaining some ground on that National League West. They took the series 2-1 from the Giants. We got the Mets and the Phillies, and I believe, let me see if my score is correct. Yes, the Mets took the series from the Phillies 2-1. There were some bench clearance here and there. There was a bad umpire call, a horrible umpire call. You got McCutchen running a baseline to second base. They tried tagging him out while he was running to second base, and the umpire called that he was off the baseline. Bro, it's 3 feet from the imaginary baseline the runner has. McCutchen didn't even fucking move from that line. Called him out. Joe Girardi was pissed. Bryce Harper was barking down from the bench. He got tossed out. I mean, the umpiring call has been horrible so far in the season. It's been horrible. Fucking Wilmer Flores got struck out by 3 straight pitches outside of the zone. He looked at all 3 of them because all 3 of them were balls. He got struck out. The calls in Milwaukee were horrible. They were horrible. It's just been crazy. You got the Nats and the Marlins. The Nationals swept the Marlins, and they are, I believe, they are in sole first place. Let's see. And they're in first place. The Phillies are right behind them. So that's interesting because the Nationals were having one hell of a bad season, and they switched to back up, man. Now they're in first place from last to first. So you never know what you're gonna get. The Yankees are turning it back around. They swept the Tigers. They had Judge miss a couple games so he can try to make up some muscle strains that he had. He came back swinging. The Bronx Bombers are back, guys. So hopefully their pitching can keep up. I know Kluber pitched one hell of a game. We were talking about that with Boo Boo. Tyone's picking up. Garrett Cole has been fabulous to start the season. I mean, you can't ask anything else from him. You got the Reds picking up fights against the Cubs. I mean, they ended up beating them 2-1 in the series, but man, dude, fucking Great American Ballpark is turning into Fight Club over there. Every team, almost every team that goes plays there ends up picking a fight with the Reds. Yeah, it's just been crazy. Castellanos ended up getting the winning hit for the Reds to win the series from the Cubs. So hopefully they can keep it up because they're falling a bit behind. You got Milwaukee in first place, St. Louis a game behind, and Cincinnati 3.5. So I mean, that's gonna be nice to see. But coming from the Cubs, I mean, they had a tough series against the Braves, or they had a tough series against the Reds. And I know there's some people out there that are not too happy about how the Cubs are playing and how they celebrated with Anthony Rizzo pitching. But I mean, times have changed. Obviously, me being a big baseball fan, you'd like to see the actual competitive in there, the competitiveness in there. But sometimes, like me and Boo were talking, you just want to let the kids play. If it's a blown out game, why waste an arm? So, the Reds took up the series from them. The Astros are coming back. They're playing very well. They ended up beating the Rays 2-1. You have the Blue Jays playing the Braves, and they ended up sweeping the Braves. It was just a home run show over there. You got Alejandro Kirk hitting some bombs, getting some base hits. You have Vladdy Jr. getting some bombs. You have George Springer hitting like a 470-foot home run. Ronald Acuna hitting bombs. It was just home runs after home runs out there. Really good games overall. But the Jays ended up sweeping the Braves out there. And I believe they're playing in Buffalo now. Not quite sure. They're not in Canada. I can tell you that. The Red Sox and the Rangers, man. The Red Sox really underestimated the Rangers and they fell short against them. The Rangers ended up taking the series 3-1. You got the Royals and the Twins. The Twins came back and beat the Royals. And again, I think the Royals are still in first place. So that's good for the Twins. They beat a good team. They won the series 2-1. The Indians and the White Sox. The White Sox are struggling a little bit to get the bats going, but I mean, there's just a game and a half behind. But the Indians took the series from them 2-1. You got the Dodgers and the Brewers, which I mean, they were even though the Brewers are doing very well, they haven't lost the series against either the Dodgers or the Padres. It was just a very defensive game. There was really good at bats, yes, but the mid infielding of both teams was just extraordinary on the weekend. And honestly, you can't ask any more from that. It was full of highlights, and the Dodgers ended up avoiding the sweep in the very last game. They hit 2 grand slams in 2 innings. So, I mean, there's still life in there. They just have to pick it up with the bats, and they're just hitting a little slump. It happens. It happens in baseball. They'll get out of it, and let's hope they do, because it'll make that National League West more interesting. I mean, I keep repeating it to you guys. The fucking Giants are a good team. Don't underestimate the Giants. They are sitting right now in first place from the National League West. Yes, the Dodgers are only a half game behind, but still, man, it's still out there. You got the Diamondbacks and the Rockies fighting for that bottom place in the National League West. I mean, the Rockies are just 10-18. I mean, you can't ask much for them. I mean, hopefully they start to rebuild. I mentioned it on the Twitter account. Go ahead and follow the podcast Twitter account at the underscore Hambino. Posted it. Chris Rose answered back. Ben Verlander answered back. The Yankees, I don't think they should keep Aaron Judge. To me, it's a financial issue, because he can't stay healthy. Even though he's a really good hitter, I can't deny him that he has come cold in big moments in the postseason. So, I mean, it's a financial hazard. I would try and see if I can get a trade for him. I know there was talks about having the Angels involved. I guess they were having some off-season talks about that. But, I mean, I don't see a Rockies-Yankees trade bad. I mean, I know they just put it at 10% of a chance. Chris Rose did. Shout out to Chris Rose. I really do appreciate him commenting back. And Ben Verlander as well. But I mean, it's just a wild guess. It could happen. I know Gary Sanchez is a for sure. But I mean, anything can happen. I mean, the Rockies need to rebuild, and the Yankees, I know for a fact, I really do hope. I'm sorry, I don't know for a fact. I really do hope that they do not re-sign Aaron Judge. But I mean, anything can happen. You got the Orioles playing the A's. They swept the A's. They only had a 2-game series, so the Orioles took that. And then the Angels and the Mariners. They also played. Mariners took the series 2-1. And then the Pirates and the Cardinals. The Cardinals swept the Pirates, and the pitching is coming back for the Cardinals at a good time. Obviously, you want to try to do good right before the All-Star break, so you can have a good week, a couple days rest for you to settle down, get some game plans going, and be in a good seat in your division. And the Cardinals are doing just that. I mean, they're just a game behind the Brewers. So hopefully they can keep it that close or get that first place spot. So, I mean, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best, guys. And then right now, let me see what I got going for you guys. Today, when this podcast airs on Monday, you got the Brewers facing the Phillies. You have the Dodgers facing the Cubs, the Rangers going against the Twins, the Mets versus the Cardinals, the Indians against the Royals, the Giants against the Rockies. And now the Giants should take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, the Dodgers as well. The Dodgers are playing the Cubs that are struggling a bit right now. The Giants are playing the Rockies that are struggling. The Rays are playing the Angels. The Blue Jays are playing the Athletics. You got the Pirates against the Padres, and the Padres should take advantage of this. I mean, let's hope that they do. And then you got the Orioles playing the Mariners. And then also you got on Tuesday following the series, you got the White Sox against the Reds, Diamondbacks against the Marlins, Braves against Nationals, Houston versus the Yankees, Tigers versus the Red Sox, which again, the Red Sox should take advantage that the Tigers are struggling a bit right now. And then you got the Blue Jays against the Athletics. So we'll keep posting for you guys. We'll keep you guys updated day by day. And one hell of an interview we had today with Rolando Sanchez. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please follow the account at the Hambino Podcast. We're on Instagram, the Hambino Podcast, Twitter, we're at Twitter, and it's at _Hambino. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe. I really do appreciate everything you guys have been doing. Obviously, we're going to do another giveaway soon. We got great things coming up, man. Great things. And I really do appreciate you guys that are sticking to this and giving me a chance to give you guys information about baseball and stuff like that. I really do like it, and I hope you guys do too. Please comment below. Give me some ideas. Tell me what you guys think. Potential trades that you guys would like to see happen, and what does your team need to make it into the postseason? Give me your thoughts, guys. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful day today, and enjoy the week, man. Have a good day, guys. Bye.